So let's keep reading. He says, and he said to them, why do you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business? Here he's teaching us what our approach to purpose has to be. It can't be purpose, take it or leave it, I'm doing life. No, purpose is your life. And as I mentioned on Wednesday nights to the singles, there's a difference between your purpose and your responsibilities are not necessarily synonymous. Oh, God, I need to make this plain. I'm almost done. Sometimes your present responsibilities are keeping you from purpose. Your responsibilities ought to be born out of your understanding of what your purpose is. Oh, you didn't like it or you didn't understand it. One or the other. Let me try to say it better. Or maybe both and or. Now sometimes, we can't even stop and pause and get in the presence of the Lord to have him define our purpose because we're bogged down by responsibilities that there is a possibility that he didn't even place on us. But we, out of a sense of not feeling like we're rich, put ourselves in a desperate situation and have become slaves to a responsibility that have absolutely nothing to do with our purpose. So everything that you and I call responsibility needs to be birthed from God's revelation to you and I about what our purpose is. Are you hearing me? I want you to pause in this season, man. We're almost at June. I think I need to tie this thing up. We're almost at June. And if you haven't stopped, God bless you. And if you haven't stopped to assess where you're headed and to seek God's face and to make certain that God didn't 5 months ago say turn left and you missed it, kind of like Mary and Joseph, you need to qualify your direction. And you need to make certain, because sometimes we think we mistake responsibility for purpose, right? So, and it could be that, yeah, you were on the road to purpose, but then you begin to it changed, and now responsibility became your purpose. Well, the only problem with that is that your purpose evolves. I tweeted something recently, and I hope I can say it the way I tweeted it, but I tweeted, you will never be a has-been if you learn how to reinvent yourself in the evolution of your purpose. Now, that's a book. You'll never be a has-been if you learn how to reinvent yourself in the evolution of your purpose. And so imagine 2 circles. One is your purpose, and one is you. And they need to be spinning congruently. Are you following what I'm saying? I wish I could say that better. I'm sorry. I'm going to take some vocabulary building classes or something because God shows some stuff. In other words, your purpose is evolving. But notice it's a circle, which means that it's one. It's always one purpose. But what it looks like here might be different from what it looks like at this angle. But they're linked according to the times and the seasons of life. And your life is the same way. Right? Your life is like a circle like that, and you're growing and you're evolving into who you really are. And so if you're stuck, and this is for artists, listen, if you're an artist and you feel stuck, or you even feel like a has-been, first of all, a has-been is a lie. The reason why I said so-called has-been is because there is no such thing as a has-been. The only person who's a has-been is a person who's dead. Because they're not anymore. They had been, right? That doesn't even make sense. Has been. Is that even grammatically correct? Has been? It's not, isn't it? And we fall for stuff. No, if you are alive, you are. Right? Which you just have to discover where you are on both cycles. Where you are in the evolution of your purpose and where you are in the reinventing of yourself to fit that. Oh, Jesus, help me. Get the CD. Please get the CD and just really let the Lord bring. No, you need to take a minute in this season and you pause and you stop and you get with God. And I dare you to trust him enough to put your responsibilities on hold for one day. That's one of the reasons why I think God gave us a Sabbath. It wasn't just to rest, but maybe he wanted us to take a day off from stuff to get and get in his presence to get a clear revelation about whether or not we're spending those next 6 days the way we're supposed to. Could it be that is one of the purposes of the Sabbath? Stop. Don't just be working all the way through and miss purpose and have to go back to Jerusalem because you left a child there. What child have you left? Maybe the child itself is your purpose, caught up in routine and busyness. I love you. I just want to see God's children walking in the purpose for which they exist. And I'll give you a hint. I think that everyone has one particular purpose, one big picture purpose that can be broken down into unique and distinct callings, and that is to glorify God. At the end of the day, the end result of your purpose and your calling in life is to glorify him. Why? Because it said that we were created for his glory. Right? And then we just saw in 1 Peter 2:9, and let's put that back up there real quick, Kenny, if you would. 1 Peter 2:9, it says, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness and into his marvelous light. Your purpose is to glorify God. Let your light shine before men, that they might see your good works and glorify the Father who is in heaven. So in the midst of the billions of ways that your purpose can be expressed, the end result is ultimately glorifying God. And if you align yourself with your purpose, you'll never lack. One other thing that I'll point out is that Jesus was diligent. He was very diligent. I must be about my Father's business. And there is a very, I don't want to call it a lazy spirit. A lot of times spiritual people are lazy, right? Because they feel like they're so spiritual that they don't have to necessarily do much. Not anybody here. I'm not dream of suggesting that any of you ever struggle with slothfulness or procrastination. You know, we have a new term for laziness is procrastination. It sounds better. I have a tendency to procrastinate. No, you're lazy sometimes. And here's the problem with procrastination. God is a God of timing, right? So to procrastinate is to delay timing, right? And so I'm just believing that we're going to be a people who live in step with God, who learn how to hear from God, and who move when he speaks without delay so that we're not always playing catch up, all right? Some people you know, tired of playing catch up with God. Why do we always have to find God? Why can't we be with him? Are you following what I'm saying? It says with God all things are possible, but oftentimes we find ourselves running to him. We got to run back to God. I'm tired of running back to God. Why can't I just hang out with him forever? Are you hearing me? All right, I'm done cutting today. I love you. You received that word today? All right, God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. I want to pray for you. And you know, we're getting ready to receive our tithes and our offerings after I pray. And I just pray that God has touched us. First of all, I want to thank the faithful tithers and givers in this church. And how many of us know it's better to give than to receive, like for real? I mean, you really have gotten that revelation. There's a passage of scripture. Can he show Proverbs 24:11? I love this passage of scripture because scientifically it makes no sense.